All right, we have made it to the last section in this quarter. It is Unit 4, Lesson 5, Identifying Linear Functions. So one of the goals in math is to be able to look at an equation or a graph and know what type of function it is. So what is a linear function? There's lots of definitions. It depends on how you want to think of it. As a graph, it's always going to be a straight line. As an equation, so linear functions will always form a straight line. That's one way to define what a linear function is. Second, as an equation, it can always be written in the form y equals mx plus b. Third, as an input-output function, you can think of it as one independent variable and one dependent variable. So with a line, the independent variable is usually x, because that's what changes, and the variable that depends on x is y. Okay, now for an equation, we said it can be written in this form, but there's a couple of features that we need to go in depth. Okay, so first thing is you'll notice that the highest exponent is 1. So you can have an exponent of 0 or 1. There are no fraction exponents. Okay, you'll notice that x is not in the denominator. It can be in a numerator. And those are the main features. Okay, so let's look at our first example. Circle which of the following are linear functions. So let's look at y equals 5x squared minus 8. It's kind of in that form, y equals mx plus b, but let's look at the power. That power is 2, and we said our highest power is 1. So that is not linear. Let's go down here. 2x minus 3y equals 9. Well, it is x to the first. I don't have a fraction exponent. I don't have x in a denominator. Now, if I wanted to, I could get y by itself. You've done that in this course already. So this is a linear function. Y equals 1/3 x plus 8. Well, it's x to the first, so that's okay for our power. 1/3 is a fraction. It's not an exponent, so you can have a fraction coefficient. And everything else meets the criteria. Over here, y equals 2 divided by x. Well, it's still x to the first, so our power is okay, but x is in the denominator. That is not linear. Over here, we've got x to the first, x is in a numerator, and really why this works is you can rewrite this, there's a 1 in front, as 1/2 x plus 3 over 2. You can split up that denominator when it has one term. So this is linear. And our last example, it is x to the first. Our x is in the numerator, so that is good. All right, how to find ordered pairs that lie on a linear function. So they will ask you to state a certain number of pairs. So step number 1 is you pick, if they don't tell you, pick any numbers to be used for x. And then step 2 is you're going to substitute each x value into the equation. And then 3, you're going to simplify to find the y value. So you can write this as an ordered pair. If they have a table, you would fill that out. So let's look at this. State 4 ordered pairs that lie on this linear function. So an ordered pair needs to make that equation true. So I'm going to just pick these. You can pick negatives, you can pick 0, 1, I can pick big numbers, you can pick decimals, it does not matter. So step 2, if x equals -1, I'm going to substitute 3 minus 2 times -1 into my equation, and that will give me y. So you can type that into a calculator. So y equals 5. If x equals 0, I get y equals 3 minus 2 times 0, which gives me 3. So these are x values and these are y values. 1, and if I pick 10. So you get to pick if they let you. All right, the last problems, they're going to give you a scenario. So the Glee Club hopes to recruit 80 members in its first year and to increase enrollment by 40 members per year over the next 5 years, represented by the function. So they're going to give you a function, and that's why you see some of the same numbers, because that's how they're getting them. Y represents the number of years. Okay, so what will the membership be at 2, 3, and 5 years? So if we've got 2 years, it said that that's what y is. So my function is going to tell me the number of people. So if I substitute that in, I would get 80 plus 40 times 2, which is 160 members. And 3 years, that means that y equals 3. So we're going to start over and substitute. And then 5 years. So 80 plus 40 times 5 gives you 280. All right.